What's up, babes? How we doing? Another chapter. What are we at? 11:56. It didn't. I mean, honestly, not a lot happened. After discussing this chapter, I mean, there's a lot of like interesting little tidbits, but in terms of actual action, not a lot. And the reason for that is the Kuja pirates taking up half of the damn chapter with honestly nothing. I mean, it's fun, but at this point on Elbaf, with everything that's going on and the world flooding as we speak, seeing the old Kuja pirates was not on my list of things that I really needed. But we get a nice little back and forth here, and we see kind of like why Rayleigh is with. Does she go by Shikaku now? I mean, what's her name now? The girl who owns the bar that we got to see on shit, what's that island called? Doesn't matter. It's where all the new pirates were introduced. Sabaody. Can't believe I almost forgot that. I feel like whenever I need something, I always like tend to forget it a little bit. It is super funny though, because it seems like Elder Nyan or Gloriosa has been ignored her whole life. And with a name like Gloriosa, it's not really much of a surprise. Shakuyaku. That's her name. So I'm a little confused here as well, because is it just her beauty? I don't think she has the fruit. I mean, she might. It seems like there's some pretty similar characteristics of how people are reacting around her. But I don't know if she actually has the fruit, because then that raises so many other questions of how did they carry that on through the Kuja pirates? Is that something that they do? Is that something they're capable of? And it just makes me think about Blackbeard's ability, where he's kind of able to, nest in this fruit so it doesn't go anywhere. And if other nations or groups have the ability to do such a thing, I agree. I think it's a stretch. I don't think that's necessarily the case here. We can just say she's beautiful and be done with it. But this is the first time we've seen Roger go down. It's also, I believe, the youngest we've ever seen Roger. He doesn't look very good for his age, to be honest with you. He still looks old. I mean, I don't know how old he is here. Probably like late 20s or 30s. He can't be that old. He literally can't. But he doesn't look very good. Rayleigh does, though. And we get the little flirtatiousness between those two. But it's just kind of weird, because I'm like, she doesn't have the ability. I don't believe she has the ability. But everybody reacts like she basically does. Anyway, we get a nice little clash between young Garp and young Roger, which once again, Garp looks a little older. I like how they both have the scruff going, because obviously they have the facial hair later. And they have a nice trade of attacks. We didn't get anything cool. Like, I would have loved to see some type of reference to how strong this clash was. But I guess at this point, it's not even worth it. Neither one's really in their prime yet. But it's a fun thing to see. I guess it's a fun thing to see. But after we just saw Mr. Giant Man, Loki's dad, Harold, clash with rocks, I am curious, because that 5-kilometer thing might be the strongest interaction we've seen. And that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But we do get a couple of interesting little tidbits here, none of which come from, once again, I mean, we get half the chapter wasted on the Kuja pirates. And then the next little tidbit is about saving Loki. And at this point, I'm kind of like, Loki, suck it up. Like, Harold's giving you so many chances. This lady is clearly nice. She's dead at the present time. But she's clearly, like, you're being treated with love. I think that's obviously clear. You've been saved when you should be dead. Harold is kind of a sissy about being a father, because he's more, in line with controlling and working towards the betterment of his nation. But at this point, I'm like, come on, Loki, like, stop it. But I do like the fact that whenever Rox comes there, and he's coming there a lot because he needs to convince him to join the crew, that Loki's like, nah, like, tag me in, coach, like, put me in the game because I am ready to go. And at this point, he's not. I do think that it's interesting, and it does give me some parallels between Rox's kid, obviously Blackbeard, and Harold's kid, which is obviously Loki, if they're going to have some type of crossover and what that would look like, and if that's part of Blackbeard's plan. to go and get Loki, which is basically the next Herald. I mean, at this point, no, I can't say that quite yet, because Ancient Giants might have some shit, but Loki is part Ancient Giant, and I was gonna say that Loki's probably stronger than Herald, but I can't say that with confidence at all. I mean, Herald's, like I just said, that might be the strongest clash that we've seen, so I don't know how powerful that is. We go to the Beehive, Pirate Island, and we see Kill the Wicked, the future Silver Axe, Shiki's biggest rival, sure. Sick design, cool. Once again, doesn't really mean too much. There just wasn't a lot in this chapter, but I understand it's a build-up. Just talking about how he's gathering all the strong recruits. And this guy paints a beautiful picture for Pirate Island where he's like, well, the closer you get to the middle, the more fucked up it gets. The deeper you get into this island, the more nasty the characters you'll see as you keep going in. And Silver Axe doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to meet up with the guy in the middle. And then this is one of the interesting tidbits, finally, is Rox talks about the 2 fruits that he's after. And I think one of those, without question, is the Nika Nika. And I think one of them is most likely an Elbaf. That's the one that I believe that he's talking about with Herald. And I think that the reason he brings that up, there's a couple of parallels. One, I think Loki thinks that he's that guy. I think that Elbaf in general, I mean, you look at that, the three worlds, if you remember the 3 worlds, there's clearly a giant in the mix there. But there's clearly, I mean, Luffy or another Nika user up at the top. And I think it's tough to say exactly what he means from Elbaf, but I just believe that they're so connected to the Sun God, probably more than any other culture before them. And could you imagine that fruit in somebody like that's hands? I mean, Luffy is definitely able to giganticize himself. But in the power of a giant, like, that's mass destruction. I think that's what Rox is after. And he's just like, if a guy like Herald had that ability, the world would bend the knee. Like, what do you even do? I mean, I don't know what Emu's power is, but if you're able to do that shit, it's gonna be silly. I mean, you are the ancient weapon at that point. Anyway, we see a couple things here. We got Pirate Streusen, which I like seeing here because we haven't seen him in a little bit. Obviously, Whitebeard, Captain John, Pirate Barbell, the fishman. I don't think that we've seen him before. Definitely interesting. It is cool to see. I mean, Rox is bringing together more of a diverse crew than debatably even Roger. I mean, he's all over the place with Onis, with fishmen, all sorts of shit. He doesn't care. The thing is he doesn't care. He wants a giant. He doesn't care. He just wants the strongest of the strong. It doesn't matter what you are. He doesn't see you for that. And in a way that is very much like freedom, like he doesn't care. And that bodes well for Blackbeard's chances at finding the One Piece, becoming the king. Because I feel like he's going to align a lot with Rox. Rox seems a lot more freedom-based, but at the end of the day, I mean, he just wants to stir up the world just like Blackbeard wants to do. On a grand scale, but, you know, comparing Rox and Blackbeard at the moment has Blackbeard losing. It's funny to see Kaido being young Kaido, just saying, he's like, why don't we just go over to Elbaf and make him look stupid, you know, kick their ass and say, you work for us now. He's like, don't you say that's my friend. And I'm just like, what kind of a parallel? Like, because Rox is a bastard, but he's also kind of a chill dude. You know, he values that relationship because he values strength, I believe. And it's just a cool thing to see. The crew is clearly growing, and you can see that here. The question is, what is that other fruit? Blackbeard has a plan that doesn't even necessarily seem to be his. It seemed to have started so long ago that Rox and him had to have some type of interaction where he would be able to carry on his plan. So we have to think the Yami Yami is the other fruit. You got to think that, but I don't know what Rox was thinking with that. Just doesn't feel like the benefit to the Yami Yami is something Rox would be interested in. Like, he's not even really taking hits as it is. He's not worried about other people's devil fruits as it is. I don't know what that other fruit is. I mean, that would probably be the simplest, just because that's clearly what Blackbeard wanted. Once he saw that fruit on Whitebeard's ship, he's like, I need that shit now. Like, this is the fruit I've been waiting for this whole time. And I don't know if there was a communication between his father and him that was a fruit that was necessary for the plan for whatever reason. But it definitely could be. It definitely could be. He's got what is it called? The Gurugura no Mi, to shake up the world, but I don't think that's the one that he wanted. Once again, doesn't really align with what I see for Rocks, but I could be wrong. Not a lot happened this chapter. We're building up to what is going to happen, which is hopefully God's Valley here very soon. I think that's why people like Garp and Roger are being shown, and I also believe that that's why the Kuja Pirates, I think that they're going to probably play a part in that. I don't think they're going to be the most informed, but I think they're going to play a part in probably the escape. Looking like Law in Marineford. But yeah, not a lot. No chapter next week. I'm not that surprised or upset just because I know that it's going to be, we got a break this week, then a chapter, then a break, then a chapter, then a break. For August. I don't know where that information's from, but I can tell you it's accurate. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the chapter. I'll hopefully see you maybe next week, maybe the week after, who knows. Oh, not next week. I'm gone. Going to somebody's family reunion. Anyway, take care.